Hello to you students. Welcome back to our online session once again. So today we'll be continuing with the chapter 14, the agencies of United Nations Organization. In the previous video, we have come across the two important agencies, UNICEF and World Health Organization, that is WHO. Today let us focus on the third important agency of the UNO, that is UNESCO. UNESCO. The full form of the UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So you can see that each letter is abbreviated with each word: United Nations Education, Scientific, Culture and Organization. Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Okay. Now, a conference was held in London in November 1945, that is after the formation of the United Nations Organization. And this council decided that there should be one agency which will be taking care of educational matters, the scientific growth and development, and also the various preserving the various culture and tradition of the countries. For that, there should be a cultural organization. This led to the establishment of the idea and the concept of UNESCO in 1946, which came into existence on 4th November 1946. The main headquarters of this UNESCO is at Paris, and the main objective of the UNESCO is to contribute to peace and security in the world by promoting a collaborative mentality among the nations through the education, through sharing the growth and development of the science, and preserving and maintaining the culture and spreading the good communication from one country to another. And this is undertaken to further respect for justice, for the rule of law, and for the human rights of all the human beings. So what are the important functions, or in what areas UNESCO actually functions? For your examination purpose, you are expected to learn only 4 functions. But these functions are again classified into different categories: in the field of communication, in the field of education, in the field of conserving or preservation of the cultural heritage, and in the field of scientific activities. Okay, so first, let us come in the field of education. Okay, let us see that UNESCO, the largest sector of UNESCO's activity, mainly works in the field of education, though it gives priority to all other fields, but the most prioritized area is the field of education itself. Okay, so UNESCO sees maximum to remove illiteracy all over the world by encouraging the adult education, distance education and the open school system. I hope you all are familiar with these terms, at least maybe with the distance education. You know that those people who are working and they would like to continue their education, or they want to pursue a higher course for their betterment of their work profile, then they can do the distance education, so they can work and at the same time they can continue with their course. Now, what do you mean by adult education? Adult education is given to those people who drop out their education due to some circumstances, maybe due to the financial insufficiency or maybe due to some other circumstances, and would like to later continue their education. So education provided for such people is called the adult education. It also includes the education of those people who are beyond their age to seek the education. Okay, then we have the open school systems. Are there meant only for those weaker sections of the society, where they can also get the education and at the evening times of their works, after their works, etc. Okay, so we have this different systems of education. Now, it also, UNESCO emphasizes on the education of women and girls, financial assistance for the education of disabled children. Especially disabled children refers to physically challenged people, mentally retarded people. Now all these people come under the category of the disabled, the children who are having the different disabilities, like dyslexia or dysgraphia. Okay, so these type of children always remain behind among the all other normal children. Okay, so that is why special care and assistance should be given, special time and special methodologies of teaching is also required for these children to get imparted their education and make them to live a normal life and to live for their own earning without by earning without depending on another people. Okay, so for this type of specialized schools, for specialized training for this special children's teachers, equipments, objects, materials, all these needs a lot of financial funding, and for UNESCO provides this financial assistance for these education of the disabled children. Besides this, UNESCO also makes sure that it gives grants and scholarships, especially to those teachers who are doing doctorate programs, research programs, which is something worthwhile to the upgradation of the education. Then organization of the library systems and promotion of the international understanding through education. Okay, we know that you all are familiar, or you heard that in India during the time of 1951, the very famous Delhi Public Library was actually established by the UNESCO, and today it has become one of the greatest metropolitan public library system in our country. Encouragement of the science education by providing regional training centers. So UNESCO also focuses on these areas of encouraging science educations by conducting seminars, by conducting workshops, by even conducting various science exhibitions, etc., and also gives training also starts different training centers for making the people more and more aware of the scientific developments and the research works. Then promotion of education as an instrument for international understanding. Okay, it also focuses on the promotion of education as an instrument of international understanding, that is promoting the education is required for every person anywhere in the country. So it is like it's a global literacy, mainly focuses on the global literacy of the world. Besides this, UNESCO also organizes seminars, conferences, and scientists of various countries and circulates information through journals, press, magazines, media, etc. Okay, so it promotes basic research in the fields like geology, as mathematics, physics, and oceanography. And beside this, it also shows its interest on the technology and the manpower that exists, and encourages the study of the social sciences in order to focus attention on combating all forms of discriminations, improving the status of women, and helping the youth in solving their problems. UNESCO also plays a very important role in the field of communication, because without communication it cannot progress its activities or proceed its activities. So different communication means are being accepted, like press, media, and then journals, newspapers, magazines. Okay, and today in the advanced technology we have the internet, software aspects, different softwares for different purposes, and we have the social networking sites which are very fastly growing these days. UNESCO also focuses on the preservation of the cultural heritage. UNESCO, the modern laws of the cultural identity and every country is unique with its reference to the culture and the tradition, and UNESCO seeks to maintain the culture and tradition. So it provides the technical advice and assistance, equipments, and funds for the preservation of the monuments that are being worn out or going to get destroyed, and also prepared World Heritage List to identify the monuments and sites which are to be protected. Now we know that historically we have UNESCO is having a very long World Heritage List where certain monuments are included in this list, and in India Taj Mahal is one of the world's most heritage monument. Few years back, if you have come to know in the newspapers, we have come to know that Taj Mahal's that white marble-ish color is getting faded. Okay, and it was turning into a slight tint of yellowish, And the scientists tried to find out the various reasons, and it was found out that due to the heavy pollution in air is a cause for getting that tinted palish color to be seen, or pale yellowish color to be seen on the Taj Mahal. And special interest was taken to maintain this and to maintain the monument and to save this monument, which is under the World Heritage List. UNESCO also pays attention towards the cultural development through the literature and the fine arts. Every year all over the world it conducts various cultural events for the recognition of the tradition and culture of the people by the different countries. Okay, it could be in the field of literature, it could be in the field of fine arts like paintings, sculptures, statues, etc., or even in the cultural events and the programs where dance, music, etc. are given much priority. So it plays attention towards all these type of cultural growth and development. And not only that, it encourages the other country people also to learn. So we know that all over the world there are different these type of cultural institutions, organizations are there, from where people from one country to another country go and learn. In India, we know that many of the foreigners come to India to learn the Indian classical dance forms, which are actually not constrained to any one number. We have different ways of classical dance forms which foreigners take much interest in learning. Besides this, India is known for its famous Hindustani music and Carnatic music, where we again see that foreigners come to India to learn these special cultural heritage of our own country. And UNESCO plays a very great role in promoting all these culture and its tradition to be maintained and preserved, and also for the other people to know and understand and learn it. Now, what is the relation of India, and or how was India associated with the UNESCO? Let us have a look on that. India has been a member of UNESCO since its inception in 1946. In 1949, the Government of India set up a national commission for the cooperation with the UNESCO, consisting of 5 sub-commissions, namely Education, Natural Sciences, Social Sciences, Culture, and the last, Communication. These commissions promote UNESCO programs and send personnel to participate in international conferences, seminars, workshops organized by the UNESCO. The UNESCO also provides funds and expertise for the protection of many historical monuments, as I gave you an example like Taj Mahal a few years back. Okay, so these are the major things that you have to keep in mind in this chapter. The important agencies of the United Nations organizations. The 3 important agencies you have to study: one is UNICEF, World Health Organization, and finally the UNESCO, and 4 functions each of these 3 agencies. Okay, so UNICEF means, in the title itself it is for the children's educational fund, mainly focusing on the children, their health and their progress and growth and welfare of the children. Then second, World Health Organization, you all are by this time familiar with it was established in April 7th and 1948, and its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. And World Health Organization aims at the attainment of the physical, mental, and social well-being of the people, and it undergoes various type of activities under different sub-agencies. And for example, if you see, the greatest achievement of the World Health Organization is that it succeeded in eradicating polio from the world, and many other contagious diseases like diarrhea, cholera, etc. Okay, leprosy, etc. So there is a great number of great achievements of the World Health Organization. Now coming to the last and not the least is the UNESCO, which is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Studies. It was established on 4th of November 1946, and its headquarters is in Paris. And the main objective of this UNESCO is to contribute peace and security in the world by fostering cooperation among nations through education, science, and cultural development. So this is the sum up of the whole chapter today, what we have discussed in these days. So I hope that you understood the part. Please have an intense reading with your textbook and try to understand the things, okay, and learn also. So thank you for being with me. Have a wonderful day.